Hey everyone, my name is Savannah and I will be doing Psalm 139 today. I wish that light wasn't that way up there in my video, but this is the best room that I could find to do this in, so I'm really sorry about that. I'm just going to start off with the historical context and go in the order of how everything is supposed to be. In Psalm 139, David is using the psalm as a prayer as he realizes the vast nature and omnipresence of God. So I do love that David did write the majority of Psalm and that he kind of used it as his journal. I mean, he talked about things he was struggling with, things he was going through, the people he wanted to kill, the people that hurt him. He even used Psalm to work out some issues that he had with God, like, God, why have you abandoned me? Why do you hate me? In different Psalms. And so I love how David conveyed honesty with God, but in this particular Psalm he is using it as a prayer. And he is becoming aware of the omniscience of who God is in his life. Like, God is not just in a box, very near and dear and close to us, but his sovereignty extends over all of creation and all of time, forever and ever. So David is kind of coming into this awareness, but also remembering how personal and how sweet that presence of God is with him. The literary context kind of, I saw a, I don't even know the word to use, like an adhesion, if you will, like a glue. There was some glue between the literary context and the New Testament parallel. And I thought this was really neat. And it reminded me of Luke 11, 1 through 13. And it's when the disciples are with Jesus. And sorry, I'm trying to get to it on my computer. It's when the disciples say, hey, Jesus, teach us how to pray. And it's in Luke 11, 1 through 13. And Jesus gives them an outline on how to connect with God in prayer. So it's, our Father who art in heaven. You address God. Hallowed be your name. You worship God. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So then you pray God's will over everything before you even request anything for yourself. So then you say, give us this day our daily bread. So God, these are the things that I need. This is what I'm wanting from you. And let's see. Forgive our sins, for we also forgive everyone who sins against us, and lead us not into temptation. And so that's just saying, God, forgive us for what we've done. And also, in some versions say, forgive us as we forgive the people who've sinned against us. So that is kind of a hand in hand. That's a statement that goes hand in hand together. Like, God, forgive me, but also give me the ability to have that same forgiveness for others, because if you don't forgive others, then your Father in heaven will not forgive you. And Jesus was very clear on that. Then he said to them, suppose one of your friends, suppose you had a friend and goes to him at midnight and says, friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread, because a friend of mine on a journey has come to me and I have nothing to set before him. Then the one inside answers, don't bother me, the door is already locked, and my children are with me in bed. I can't get up and give you anything. I tell you, though he will not get up and give him the bread because he is his friend, yet because of the man's boldness he will get up and give him as much as he needs. So I say to you, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, he who seeks finds, and him who knocks the door will be opened. Which of your fathers, if your son asks for a fish, will give him a snake instead? Or if he asks for an egg, will give him a scorpion? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give the Holy Spirit to those who ask him? And so in this passage, Jesus is just saying, this is how you pray, and this is how you ask God for things, and God will fulfill your prayers. And David knew the effectiveness of prayers, even though the New Testament had not been written yet. And so he kind of goes through the prayer outline that Jesus talks about in Luke with Psalm 138, Psalm 139, and then Psalm 140. So in 138, it's just a thankfulness psalm. He's just giving thanks. And we know that this is really important in the outline that Jesus talked about. And then Psalm 139, it's saying, search me, know me, God, teach me things, discern things about me. Just, you formed me, God, you know everything about me. So that's kind of the part that's like, hey, lead me not into temptation, and forgive me, that those are those things about me that I need God to work out. So David said that. And then even at the end of Psalm 139, it says, search me, O God, know my heart, try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. So lead me not into temptation, but into the way of everlasting. So David was brilliant when he was saying this. And then finally, Psalm 140 is, deliver me, O Lord, from evil men. So he's just saying, God, protect me and provide for me in this way. And at the end it says, I know that the Lord will maintain the cause of the afflicted, and he will execute justice for the needy. Surely the righteous shall give thanks to your name, and the upright shall dwell in your presence. So I just think that that's so neat that David did not even need that outline to know how to beautifully and adequately connect with the Father. The elements of structure, I kind of see 5 different sections in Psalm 139. It's, Lord, search me. You know everything about me. The second section kind of is like, Lord, you made me. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. You know the secret parts of me. You made me in the secret place. Then the third section is, God, you're just precious to me. He goes back to just saying that your thoughts are precious to me. And he holds God, like, and I get emotional about it, but like, he holds the things that God thinks about to such a high regard. He says, how precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. If I would count them, they are more than the sand. I awake and I'm still with you. And I love how David is just so in love with God in that way. Then the third section is, you defeat my enemies. So God, you protect me, and you're going to provide justice for me even when I can't. And then the fifth section, finally, I read it a moment ago, is, Lord, again, just search my heart and then lead me into the way of everlasting. The poetic elements are found in verse 9, verse 11, verse 12, and 13. So verse 9, 11, and 13 really conveyed some really strong imagery that David used. In verse 9, he says, if I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea. So he gave the morning wings, and that's a really great image that he gives us. In verse 11, he says, if I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light about me be night. So he gives that heaviness, that heavy image of a very heavy cover or blanket for darkness. And then verse 13 says, you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. So you see that picture of God with a needle and thread, just being very, very intentional and very, very crafty and intricate with his creation, which is us. In verse 12, we see a simile. It says, even the dark is not dark to you, the night is as bright as the day, for darkness is as light with you. So we know that a simile is when you use like or as, and he uses as twice in that verse. As the day, and darkness is as light with you. An Old Testament parallel that I saw kind of just covers the whole theme of Psalm 139. And it says, it's Proverbs 16:3, and it says, commit to the Lord in all you do, and he will establish your plans. And David knew this, and he was so committed to the Lord, even in his sin and the things that he did wrong. He knew that getting back on track as soon as possible was the only way to maintain a righteous life and a good relationship with the Lord. And that's just kind of the parallel that I saw, because David did commit to the Lord, and David did want to be led in the way of everlasting. And that kind of leads me to the modern day application. I know that in my life right now, coming to the end, I'm in Highlands College, which is a ministry leadership school in Birmingham, Alabama. And I'm coming to the end of that program, and after one more semester, I'll be at the end of my time with Point University. And I kind of am at that place where I'm like, Lord, I'm just going to commit every day to you, because I honestly don't know where I'm going to go or where I'm going to end up. But I'm trusting you to lead me in the way of everlasting. And then as I'm walking in those moments, I do doubt myself so much. I wonder, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I even made for this? Should I be doing ministry? Am I even good at connecting and loving on people? Like, what is this all for? And I remember that God loved me enough to create me, according to Psalm 139, in the secret place. And I've been thinking a lot about the secret place, and I do wonder if there is a place in heaven where God creates human beings, where He creates us. And I wonder if it's completely separate from everything else. Just a thought. I wonder what it would be like to be in this secret place with Jesus. Like, did anybody know where the secret place was? Were the angels ever allowed in there? I like to think that the secret place, yes, is in the presence of God, but on earth there's so many distractions that even when we are in the presence of God, it doesn't feel secret because of all the things that can invade our mind and distract us. But the secret place in heaven, I mean, what must that be like? Did Jesus, or the Father, need so much concentration that He needed to be alone with us in order to create us as intricately as He wanted to? I really don't know, but that's been really encouraging me recently when I think that I'm not good enough, or that parts about me are a mistake. Because I think, gosh, I'm getting emotional again, but I do think about how powerful that alone time is with the Lord, and how secret and secluded He wanted that time with us to be. So I hope you guys were encouraged and learned something today. I certainly have, obviously, because I'm getting kind of teary-eyed, but I look forward to hearing all of your videos as well.